Yes. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining this yet another exciting session. Today, we will be starting with a very interesting and very useful topic. But before we start, okay, as per our, regular process, I would like to know more about, anyone who is joining for the first time. Today, we have Matilda with us. I mean, she was there from last week, but then we missed on the opportunity to know about her. So, Matilda, just to get you started, you can share about, where are you from? Where are you from? And what is your educational background? And if you have any work experience, it can be in IT, non-IT, and anything else you want to share about yourself, okay? That could be helpful or relevant. So, yes, over to you. Please introduce yourself. Thank you so much.
Okay,
A warm welcome to our, Guru Schools as well as today's session. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, so my name is Matilda, and I have a bachelor's in pure and industrial chemistry. And then I currently work as
Great.
a team manager. I lead about like 50 people here in the US in a topmost manufacturing firm as a team manager. I'm already a certified Scrum Master, so I felt I needed to get hands-on experience. That was why I signed up with Guru Schools.
Oh,
To
great. You're
yeah,
already
exactly. Yeah.
certified Scrum Master.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. So
super.
yeah, it makes the process very easy and more explain as in I get to understand the topic better because I already have an experience. I have a background in IT before joining.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's very nice. That's
yeah,
good to know.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
So thank you so much, Matilda. You want to add something? Are you done?
No, fine. I'm good for now. Yeah. So I've been enjoying the
Yeah.
recordings. I've been enjoying the recordings. They've been great. At least
Yes.
very
Yes.
great, very great. And I enjoy
So
your
glad.
teaching. Yeah, Prinen, I enjoy your teaching. You teach so well.
Oh,
So
thank
well.
you
Yes.
so much. Thank
Right.
you so much, Matilda. Your kind words mean a lot. And I'm glad that you have been so regular and so disciplined, I would say, to
Yeah,
follow our recordings. So,
exactly.
absolutely right. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So, we have Matilda with us, which where she's already certified Scrum. So, Matilda, we will be glad to learn something more from you as well, because we are here open. No, absolutely. Because
Yeah,
as I've mentioned earlier, as we all come from different sections of industries and educational background, like in many sessions we have some lawyers and some pharmacists or some
yeah.
teachers,
Mhm.
everyone, so everyone has their own set of fabulous experiences, okay?
Exactly. Yeah,
And that need not be only in IT, and this applies to everyone, guys. You
exactly.
all are so precious because your background, your experience, your life experiences are so important. And
Mhm.
while sharing that, we really get to understand that whatever we are learning here as a concept, as a chapter, I will say, those things you guys are already continuing and implementing in real life. Just you're not aware that, okay, this is an agile principle or this is a concept, because we are so attuned for finer quality of work, or just day-to-day life. As human beings, we're so intelligent, we actually pick up things which are very effective, but no one told us that this is this principle. So here
Exactly.
we are. Yeah, thank you so much. So here we are just to ensure that we are able to map that and assess that and understand that and implement that in our professional setup. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you so much. And before we start, as per our daily practice, though we have already started, we before I get in deeper and in detail into the topic, just wait for some time. Close your eyes. Be still. Do not make any movements. Don't get into any activity. Just sit still. A hand on your thighs, or you can just keep them relaxed on your body. Close your eyes. Mute, first of all, mute your phones or laptops, that whichever we are using, and just focus on your breathing. A breathing has to be very deep. So, like, you take your breath with your nose, a very long, deep breath. try to hold that breath for a couple of seconds and then release it from your mouth. Okay. I'll try to show you a demo making some sounds so you will understand. But while you're practicing it, you need not make any sound, and it can be as normal as a general typical breathing. So let me show you that. And we'll at least have 5 to 10 minimum breaths. So you will be centered, focused, and calm before we start. Okay. I'll just give you a demo. So inhaling from nose, then holding your breath and exhaling from mouth, and try to have a longer, deeper breathing. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going on mute. Just give ourselves 5 minutes, rather 4 minutes, and we will start with our session. Please continue with your breathing. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. I hope you are done with your deep breathing as of now. And let us get started with this super interesting yet very realistic and practical topic, which would help you tremendously in real life problem solving. Okay. So, what do we say? RG process. That means requirement gathering process. Okay. There are 6 points mentioned on the screen. Can I request 6 different people to read that out one by one, please?
Take notes.
Make
Thank
Create.
you.
creative. Make creative.
Okay. Perfect. Next.
Make
Make
annotation.
annotation representation.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Make annotation. In bracket, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
picture representation.
Perfect. Perfect. It is. Next.
Write them in
Next point.
requirement document. Use template and include use case.
Hold on into
Perfect.
internal. Hold and internal review.
Perfect. Next.
Hold an external review.
Absolutely right. So thank you so much for reading it out. So here we can see there are six, I would say, ways as well as types or as well as points. 6 ways or points that we can, master our requirement gathering process. Okay. So what do we say? First of all, take notes. So, by the way, anyone here has any doubt about why we do requirement gathering or what is requirement gathering? Yes, anyone? Okay, let me rephrase the question. Please unmute yourself and say yes if you know what is requirement gathering.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
everyone?
Yes.
Superb, superb, superb. Yeah, I'm so glad. So, okay, so as we all know, requirement gathering is a process wherein you, as a BA, as a designing team member, some of them, or as a project manager, as a product owner, scrum master, you can be a part of that discussion and you sit with the client and try to understand what they want from us, to develop, to make, to create, and what are their expectations, and in short, what are their requirements. So these are very simple but very effective, I would say, process or steps to gather information or gather requirement. So first and foremost, we are saying take notes. Now, this may sound very simple or very childish at times, but it's very practical. We are saying take notes means generally it happens. Why we are saying take notes? Because it happens so while talking, while discussing, while in the course of understanding their requirements, we might tend to lose some of the important topics or important points. In the course of discussion, in the course of having a conversation, and we might not recollect them. Okay, there is one more way, but generally it is not accepted or it is not so professional. But if the client agrees, we can go ahead with that. And I have personally seen in one of my organization, one of the BAs used to actually follow that. So what they used to do, they used to actually record the sessions. Okay, they used to have an audio recording on their phone. Definitely after the approval of the customers, if they were comfortable and if they agree to record the conversation, they because how it would help them is, because you have some recording, you have the details of what the customer was saying. Even if you miss something during the preparation of business requirement document, a functional specification document, you had something to check with, you had something to get back to. Because even customers are or stakeholders are also human beings, and they will also tend to forget some of the items. Though if you have an agenda or if they also have something in writing, that would be helpful. But in case if it's like it's one of the initial meetings and nobody has a detailed agenda, and it was just a a detailed discussion, and you came up with a lot of points, and they also suggested a lot of changes. So yes, taking notes is very important. Now we are saying make creative and make annotation, both can go hand in hand. So first of all, as a process, TAs need to be very, I would say, quick, sharp, and I would say very, very prompt and responsive. Sorry. When I say this, I mean that while we are taking details from the customer, we can have our small pointers, we can have some shortcuts, we can have some drawings, because it is humanly impossible to take a dictation while somebody is talking, as well as trying to understand them, right? We all used to have dictation in your school times, yes or no?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
I'm so surprised the response was so late. I mean, I really was little worried that was it only me? So yes, thank you for your responses. So while we were writing down that dictation which madam was or a teacher was giving, did you feel pressurized to complete as in when they say where, or you were very comfortable? Be honest.
Pressurized.
Yeah, especially they would not repeat that much, right? So same way, imagine if you're talking with your customer, there is no recording available, and imagine that there is less agenda details, and then this is a new client, and you're a little pressured, or you are new, whatever reason. So it will be not possible for you to write each and every word. So you have to be creative. You can draw some pictures, you can have some short forms, some abbreviations, or some symbols, or something that would help you, maybe a picture of a house, or some design or some reference. So it can be anything and everything that you want to be, you want to make it as simple and as creative as possible. So many a times I have people who actually use short forms or abbreviations, or somebody uses some like a asterisk or some designs to ensure that they are kind of focusing on that particular feature or that particular I would say that's particular point. So yes, try to make it creative, and having pictures is actually helps, like when somebody is telling you, okay, we want this screen to look like this, we want this login page to look like this, and you can quickly draw that as per your understanding. And it can be a very low fidelity diagram, or you can just have some borders and some buttons and some links and some here and there, and you will ask them, okay, this is what how you want it to look, or do you want this color theme, and you can jot those points down. So while you're making some sketches, or trying to draw a picture, or asking them for a reference and mentioning that particular reference, that many a times uh, in my earlier experiences, some clients used to have references. They're like, okay, we want a website to look like this. Like there was a particular bank client, so they actually asked us that, okay, we want to have a website or like this bank website. They really liked it, but yes, our color theme, our logo, our content would be much more different. But at least you have some reference, okay? So yes, that's why we have to be creative, and you have to add pictures or symbols, or anything that we feel like that would help us to draw this, or to make this more, I would say, practical and helpful. Next point is write them, that is, write the requirements in requirement document, use template, and include use cases. Okay. Now, this goes without saying, and this is a very good relief point for everyone, because many a times there are new joinees, or people who are getting into new organizations or even new departments. They are little taken aback, or they have some questions in their mind, that then what would be the template of the business requirement document, or what would be uh, how should I create, should I be creating from a scratch, how do I know what all to put in, because there are many things to put in business requirement document. So good news to all of you is that most of the, like 99.99% organizations always have their own template. Okay. When I say their own template means they will have a specimen, they will have a template wherein you can just fill in the details, and you can go ahead with that. So basically, how a typical template would look like is that you will have, first of all, the project details, like what is the name of the project or what is the name of the application, and what are the, first of all, when this who were all the attendees in that meeting. If you want to mention, that's again optional. And what is the, starting with the summary of the project if you want to add, and if no, then you can go in detail about project execution, or what is the project, first of all, what are the assumptions of the application, what are the scope of the application, then if there are any users, then you can also go ahead with any diagrams that you want to add. So yes, so if you have any, if you are kind of renovating or recreating any application, then history of that application, any technical or specific requirements you have. So these are some of the pointers that I've mentioned. But every organization will have their own version, so you are always in good hands. You should know that, okay, you will get a template, and therein you will just need to feel fill in the information, okay, or feed in the information. So there's nothing that you want to innovate, or you want to start from scratch, okay. So therein you can use, you can create use cases, you can create diagrams and things like that. Next is, next 2 points are also very practical and very, I would say, important. So first is a hold an internal review, okay. Now, when I say internal, that means all the people who are related, who are, I mean, who are closely involved in this project execution phase. And those are your, I would say, internal people. So mostly internal people means your, sorry, internal review means having your own development team, first and foremost, having everyone who is working in your project, in agile setup, in starting with your product owner and scrum master, your scrum team, or any other stakeholders that is interested, any senior management or anybody, or any technical architect from other team or other department who is kind of supporting you or guiding you, and everyone who is involved in this application or project execution, that is your intern. And you can actually set up a quick meeting with them or share this document over mail. Generally meetings are quite practical, because sending a mail and document over email to multiple stakeholders generally leads to little chaos, because everyone's response that you need to collate and again resend. So there's a lot of versioning. So it's always a good idea to have the meeting with all of them, and and note their observations or their comments and feedback, and update that, and then share over mail. So we'll have a better understanding. Next is hold an external review. Okay, now this point is definitely mentioned here, but generally depends as per the availability and interest of the customer, both the things, or availability of the stakeholders. So many a times, generally a POC, that is a point of contact, is assigned from customers or from stakeholders, or or like in that person will be in charge of every communication, every document you send to them, every clarification or doubt you ask. So he or she is there to help you or sort them out. And sometimes, because the customers are also working on their business and they also have their set of activities, they might be tied up. So they might not be available. So in that scenario, we can actually send a document over for review, or it is always a good practice to meet them in person, or at least over Zoom call, and ensure that they understand what you have prepared or what they're working on, and try to take their feedback and review. Okay. So this is a requirement gathering process. It is still not completed because once all the reviews are done, then you will, it is not mentioned here, but let me add that you will be kind of, adding that review by section in your document. So review by, first of all, you as a BA, then maybe your senior, direct senior, can be Scrum Master or even product owner if you want to add that. Then even your project sponsor. So generally, project sponsor is a person who is sponsoring the project. It can be an owner of your organization. It can be head of your department. It can be a senior management person. Whosoever is kind of, allocating budget to you, sponsoring your project is a project sponsor. In smaller organizations, it's generally the owner or CEO or CTO, whosoever is in charge. In bigger organizations, generally it depends. It is head of the department or delivery managers like that. So yes, when we do this, okay, and then it is also reviewed by the customer side, and their signature is also there. It can be digi sign, it can be mentioned there. So it's like we have on black and white that everybody has worked on it, everybody has reviewed it, and we can get started, and it is kind of give consented, or it is accepted by both the parties, that is a development team, that is us, as well as the customers. Okay, so though this process looks or sounds might sound lengthy, but no, it is not. Generally many things happen simultaneously, like first three points are actually while you're having a meeting or discussion, and next point is when you start working on your document, and once you feel you have completed or you're included all the points, you start with the reviews. Okay, so any doubt in this process? Any doubt? Anyone?
Is there any timeline, Prerna, for this process? And who decides it, if there is any?
Uh, yeah, can you please repeat? Sorry, I missed that.
I was asking, is there any timeline for this process? And if there is any, so who decides? Is it just the customer
Mhm.
who decides the timeline, or you get together and decide the timeline?
Good question. Thank you for asking. So basically, it's a mutual process, and it also depends on the complexity and the size of the project. Okay, if we are working on any small application, a mobile application, or a very easier or simple, I would say, web application or website, so it would not require a lot of time for the requirement gathering process. But imagine if we have a website similar to Amazon, or very big applications, a very complex one, so that would require a longer requirement gathering process. Now, to answer your question, it is both depends on both the parties. And yes, there is no fixed timeline for any project, because every project's criteria, complexity, or their scope is different. So maybe if there are two project owners, but one project is extremely complex, one project is very simple, so both of their requirement gathering process timelines would be different, right? So generally, it's a mutual agreement or mutual decision between customers or stakeholders and the team. But as the initial process, this process or this task does take some time, though it is advisable to not stretch it for long. But as customers are, it's just a billable project, they are paying. So we also need to be on top of this requirement. So there is no hard and fast timelines per se, 1 week, 2 week, 1 month. But then, yes, as and when we are completing, we are checking with stakeholders, and we are delivering it to them. So that is important. And second thing is, as a BA, you kind of need to be hands-on with this document, because every time there is some changes which are very significant, which are very important, which when I say significant changes or requirement changes, I mean any change that would update, that would affect your, I would say, budget, timelines, and scope. Okay. remember these three things. I have mentioned budget, that means the money involved. If your project was supposed to be done for 10 million, just imagine this is a huge amount, okay? And if some requirements are, gonna add a lot of expenditure or a lot of time, then that is a very vital or very, I would say, important change. If it is stretching on your timelines, you were supposed to complete that within 6 months, but new requirement or new work would uh, you know, would make you to stretch the project to maybe three further ones, and then you need to be very, I would say, cautious about it. And third is budget, timelines, and scope. Okay, when I say scope, that means imagine if you had had a discussion and your requirement, your BRD is all signed and approved and reviewed with every required person, and and then there is a requirement which was, first of all, not mentioned earlier. That is fine. There can be some additional requirements, but then that requirement is not mentioned in the scope. Okay. So I will give you a very, a practical and real life example which I had faced as a project manager in one of my earlier organizations, when I had a dedicated development team and I was looking at a project from end to end scenario, starting with discussions and delivering till their go live, and uh, customers are actually using that website. So what had happened is, in the initial meetings with designing team, okay, they had given some template for reference, okay. And just to give you a background, it was a mutual fund dedicated website. It was a bank's mutual fund department's website, so they wanted to kind of uh, highlight on that aspect. So in one of the designs which a designing team had pitched, it had a particular graph. All of you must have seen the Sensex graphs, yes or no? The share market graphs. Have you at
Mm-hmm.
least seen them? How they go
Yeah.
up and
Yes.
down. You see the share price, you see the timing, you see the timelines. Which month, which year, and how the share is growing or falling, and which company. Okay. So what had happened is, in one of the pitching meetings or initial meetings, the development team had a design which had a very interesting and interactive graph. Like, if you hover with your mouse, that graph would actually change the values. If you go up and, on that particular, I would say, graph, or that, it would show different values, and, so it was an interactive graph, and that piece was never discussed in detail, and customer assumed that we are showing, though honestly they were not wrong on their part, because it was shown in the design, but then it was never verbally or on paper confirmed. And later, when we had come up with that page, and we showed them, they were so unhappy, honestly, and they're like, no, we want that kind of graph. And when we realized, we checked with the designing team and we checked the development aspect, it was not a plain, simply, I would say, simple to be developed graph. It was a paid graph by Google. So it was like, we had to buy, I think, Google Graphs, or I don't know what you actually now call it, but we had to subscribe to Google. We buy that piece of, graph, or we had to kind of subscribe and pay extra. Now that payment was not included. It was in some dollars, okay, but it was an additional cost to the project. So we had to convince, I mean, honestly, I had to convince the customer, and it was not an easy conversation, because they were so adamant. They were like, you had shown that in the designing, and you would have already mentioned that we were, now you're coming with the additional expenses. See, we are living in a very practical world, and nobody would want to spend extra from their pocket, okay? Always get that thing clear. So nobody is here for charity, or nobody wants here to pay extra, and they're very straightforward, and they mean business. So they were so adamant, and it took me like pretty good detailed meetings to make them understand that yes, though it was not discussed, but these graphs, they were shown for representation purpose only. They were not the actual outcome representation. And then, after long, detailed, not so pleasant meetings earlier, They agreed and they actually paid. Because see, if customer doesn't pay you and they want us to develop something that is gonna cost us, that cost we have to bear, and that reduces our profits. Okay, so we have to be very, very practical. Now, this is a real life scenario which I've just shared with you, and this allows us to complete our this process. So any doubt in this, we will continue in this, but any doubt in these points mentioned on the screen? Anyone?
No.
No.
No? Thank you so much for your
Prerna,
response. Yeah, go ahead, Vijay. Go ahead.
just wanted to check, after every requirement gathering process, do we kind of
Mm-hmm.
have a minutes of meeting or something like that sent to the
It's
stake?
absolutely dependent on you as a BA, though it's a very good practice. When I was a project manager or maybe a junior project manager starting, I used to have that practice because that kind of keeps everybody on the same plane. Yes, so
Yeah,
it's a good practice, but again, it's not a mandate because if you're having frequent discussions, very smaller discussions is up to you. But yes, it's a good practice to have. Absolutely, good
I think
question. Thank you so
espe
much. Mhm.
especially when when your client is not comfortable recording them meetings and
Yes. So generally what we used to have, we used to actually share the agenda of the meeting with the customer. And then once we are done with the discussions, along with, I mean, it's just to mostly MOM only, but we used to actually mention the pointers discussed against agenda. Like, if you have mentioned some point, then we used to have some comments mentioned. And then we should check with the customer, like, kindly review the MOM or kindly review what, as per our discussion. And then they used to come back. Most of the times, I'll be very honest and practical, most of the times you don't get response to such mails because they are too busy, or at least client try to show that they are busy. But then it's always a good practice to get their confirmation on such discussed topics. Yeah, so it is always a good idea to have minutes of the meetings, MOM that we call it, to after having every discussion. That helps everyone to know what we all discussed and where are we standing, and how are we agreeing on the things. Good question, Vijay. Thank you so much. Should we go ahead?
yeah,
Yes?
yes.
Super. Thank you. Now, here, we're trying to understand, while we are working on requirement gathering, or we're trying to analyze a problem or resolve an issue, there are certain ways that could help us. Okay. Now, this method that is mentioned here, that is data driven decision making, as the word suggests, it will help you to take a decision or make a decision with the help of data. By the way, the short form for this is very cool. It is DDDM. It sounds like an abbreviation of somebody, some cool organization or stuff like that. But yeah, it's triple DM. So it means while coming up to any conclusion or coming to any solution or decision, what are the driving factors? What are the factors contributing to the resolution? Okay. There are 5 steps mentioned. Can I request 5 different people who did not speak earlier to kind of mention and read one by one, and we can go ahead? Yes.
Step one, define the problem.
Step 2, analyze the data.
Mm-hmm. Next.
Step 3, develop insights.
Perfect. Next.
Step 4, taste the insight.
Okay. Last.
Step 5, review the results.
Thank you so much. So yes, these are the most practical and realistic steps for this. And if you think in detail, if you think practically, you would understand that we all are, or rather, you guys are doing this already. Okay, when I say you're doing this already means while coming to any conclusion, while taking any decision, we are already doing this. Okay, So first and foremost, what we are saying is that define the problem. Okay. When I say define the problem, that means when you want to take a decision, first of all, the question arises as that when you want to take a decision. So it can be either a problem or either you want a solution for any situation or generally it's an issue or problem based thinking. Generally, I'm saying, so you come for a decision. So define the problem. So what is the issue in hand? Okay, now I'll give you a very practical and real life kind of example. So imagine you're a shampoo manufacturing organization, okay, and you are trying to implement this DDGM method. And the problem in hand is that your sales are kind of declining, okay, as a shampoo organization, a shampoo creating organization. Your sales are declining and you want to increase the sales. So the problem in hand is declining sales, okay. Now, step two is analyze the data. Now, to analyze this data, we also have online polls, or even you would have people in supermarkets handing over these surveys and asking them which, So you're trying to understand why it is declining. So you're going out with surveys, or you're going out, online, asking people about their opinions. So what are you doing? You're trying to get the data. So get the data means you're trying to first of all acquire the details and try to analyze them. So when you analyze, you get insights. So what kind of insights? So from the data, you realize that okay, because of a particular smell or because of the particular texture of the shampoo, it is not being liked by teenagers or people in their 20s and 30s, which is like your primary customer base, which is your prime customer base. Okay, so maybe because of a particular smell and look and feel of the shampoo, it is not being used by many. So this is an insight that you have developed. Okay, and this is the problem you try to gauge or try to come up with or understand from the situation. And you, along with, not only know the problem, now you need to work on the solution as well. So what do you say? You come up with a better different flavor or different looking shampoo, wherein, one second, wherein it looks good, it smells good, and it is a very new, nice packaging. So you are happy, you feel the customer will be happy, and this is a good innovation and things like that. So this is you're developing, you're like, you're trying to work on that, and then you're developing that insight, and then you test that insight. Test that insight means you have your some set of testing team, like that can be internal or somebody outside your organizations. There are some, see, anyone like, especially this is true with sorry, something with my throat. Especially with medicine or new drugs coming in market, they always test it on people, or they test it on some I would say quantity of people. Yes, are you aware that even that is true with makeup products? So they always say tested on humans, or sometimes it mentioned tested on animals. So there's a test going on. So you kind of have the testing per se with 500 people, and you give them free sachets or free samples, and you ask for their feedback. Okay, and then the last step is you review the results. Okay, so and why we do this on some set of test on some amount? Because while going public, while going on the larger scale, while going out in the market, we need to ensure how people or how customers will react to it. Okay, so yes, we test the insights and we review the results, try to understand it. Okay, have we made our product better? And if we think if we have taken the right decision, then yes, we go global or we go, in a full swing in the market. So do you, did you understand the entire process with this example? Like how we had a situation in hand and how we try to understand why it was caused and what is the background details, and then how we try to come up with the solution and test the solution, and then once the review is done, we got a good feedback, then we decided to go ahead with it. Yes.
So,
Anyone has any doubts?
yes, I
Go
do,
ahead.
Prerna. So I understand the example that you just gave, but from the
Mm-hmm.
business analysis point of view, if the project is about, we are trying to develop a website, so where are we getting this data, and how are all these steps going to play in that case?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to highlight, this is not with respect to creating a website.
No, anything,
This particular no.
um,
So there has to be a problem. So you come up with a problem that then we'll try to fit this in this model, because it is a decision making process. It is not a regular requirement gathering process.
so what kind of
So
decision are we
for
making?
example,
Are we
okay. So
trying
the
to,
earlier Okay, let me give you that earlier example. So, if you remember or if you recollect, 5 minutes back, I had given an example of me as a project manager dealing with a customer, asking for extra payments because that graph was paid. Yes.
mm-hmm.
You remember? So in
Yeah.
that situation, there was a problem. When I say define problem, the problem was customer was not ready to pay for this new graph, which was customized and which was a paid graph. It was
Mm-hmm.
not a free feature.
Mm-hmm.
Then that was a problem that I knew. So, and I analyzed the data. I tried to understand. Okay, is there any other way? We even tried to develop that on with the help of our development team, but then the features that they were asking were not present and they could
Mm-hmm.
not be coded. It was the look and feel which the customer wanted, the change in color, the alignment, and the features that we had shown in the design. So they were the paid. Then we developed insight that okay, we can buy this, but then we would need that funding from a customer, that is developing your insight, and then we tested that insight that we as a manager, myself and even some architect from design team and others, we got into discussion with the customer, and we asked them that requested them, we kind of shared our research with them that okay, it is not possible to develop it and give you the required solution, though we can develop and show you a very simple graph, but then you want to have an interactive graph with features and colors and all that. And then somehow we, honestly, it was a very tough task, but we did got successful in ensuring that customer is with us, they accept it, and then we showed them, and we actually bought that Google charts, and then we got the subscription and we showed them the results, and then they were happy. So when I say data-driven decision making, our first point itself says define the problem. So to focus on and to implement this method, we, it is very straightforward that we need to have a problem. Okay, so while we are working on a website, while we are developing any application, that is not a problem. That is a general process, or that is a daily course of action that we're doing. Okay, but then if there is a problem, it can be a financial one, it can be a technical one, it can be any one. Then that problem, it can be any type of problem that can be solved using this method. Are we
Okay.
clear now?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. Thank you for asking. Anybody else has a problem? And by the way, this is a very good diagram. So you feel free to take a picture or screenshot of this. So, it should be like that. That if you just take a picture and you try to understand this, then you should be able to, uh, talk about this topic or know about this topic. Yeah. So, yes, thank you for your acceptance. Let me go. Okay, so we also had an example of online marketing. The way I've just given an example of shampoo. It's the same way, one second. Yes, yeah. I'll one more example for your better understanding. So DDDM example is applying the data-driven decision-making framework to online marketing. So imagine you have a problem and there is a again a similar problem. I am not making any money from my advertising campaign. So earlier was I was not making sales from my shampoo selling, and now it is I'm not making any money from my advertising campaign. Okay. Is the screen visible? Because I will be requesting you guys to read it out. Yes. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So can I request five different people this time to read it out one by one? So we'll try to understand, and it will be really great if you could get into a discussion and try to understand it from your own and try to make me understand. We can reverse the roles and imagine I am listening this for the first time. I do not know what is DDDM, and then these are the five pointers: problem, analysis, insight, test, and results. So go ahead. Anyone? What is the problem?
Problem. I'm falling short of my revenue goal.
Okay, so you're not making enough funds, enough profits. Okay, next step.
Analysis.
Analysis. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Analysis. I'm missing my lead goal, KPI, by 50%.
So now KPI here stands for key performance indicator. So that means my majority of the requirements or majority of the requests are 50% of the requests are not getting fruitful. I'm not getting business from it. So that is my analysis. Like 50% of my requirements are not getting fulfilled. That I mean 50% of the overall requests coming from the customers are not getting fulfilled. Okay, next. Third point, insights.
Insights. I'm missing out on 75% of search impression share due to lack of advertising budget.
Yes. So what it says is that 75% of the searches which are coming from the customers, I'm kind of losing on that because there's no advertising budget. So that means that though our online presence, we have online presence, but it is not good. So the customers are not able to reach us. Maybe we do not have a good advertisement. When I say online advertisement, that means all of you use Facebook, Instagram. Yes. Luckily, it is still not there on WhatsApp. So while you're scrolling on Insta or while on FB, do you get sponsored ads? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Too
Do you
many.
see ads and small word is mentioned sponsored? That means that organization, that brand, that particular company has paid FB or Insta to advertise their products or advertise their name or any new thing that they're coming up. So that kind of thing we're saying that we want to have new additional due to lack of budget. We are not kind of capturing all these 75% search impressions. So what is the test?
Increase advertising
Yes,
budget by 50% over the course of 30 days.
yes. So now see, we are also giving timelines to it. So we are saying increase the budget by 50% over 30 days. So we are kind of having a trial that, okay, let us increase the budget and, and check on that. Yes. Next point.
Results: increased ad budget, improved impression share, resulting in lead KPIs being achieved and revenue goal realized.
Yes. So what we say, increased ad budget, improved impression share. So because of the more advertisement or very visible and frequent advertisement, we are getting more requests, more responses from the customer, and our leads are getting actually realized, and we are increasing our revenue goal. So is this clear, guys? See, it's very nicely put, and this example is very practical, and it's very close to what example I've earlier given. So generally, we tend to have our own set of examples, and while having a discussion, and we also have some standard examples mentioned in the screen. So yes, are you guys good with it, or any doubt in DDDM process?
I'm good.
No.
It's clear.
It's clear.
Thank you so much. So let us understand this in one more time in detail. And I think then we can take a pause for today, because today we do not have Gaurav with us for this session. So yes, we can complete this and then we can take a pause. Yeah. So what is the DDDM process stage? Pro analysis, insight, and test and results. So there are 5 points. Again, five different people mentioning the same. Go ahead.
Problem, I'm falling short on my revenue goal.
Okay, I'm falling short of my revenue goal. Absolutely right. Next.
Analysis. Oh, go ahead.
Analysis. The what? I'm missing my monthly lead acquisition goal KPI by 50%.
Mm-hmm. Next. Anyone? Guys, go ahead.
Insight,
Unmute
the
yourself.
why. I'm missing out
Mm-hmm.
on 75% of my search impression due to a lack of advertising budget compared to my closest bid competitors.
Okay, so what are we saying? That our closest competitors have a better, advertising budget, and they are doing a lot of advertisement, and that's why they are getting most of the revenue and most of the customers, and we are losing on it. So it's like a competitive, scenario we are in. Good. Next point.
Test the how. I'm going to test increasing
Mm.
my advertising spend by 50% of the course of a month
Mm.
to see if I can increase my search impression share.
Yes. So test is like for a limited amount of time with a, I would say, predefined plan. So, I'm increasing my budget 50% for 1 month. So it's like a trial process I'm doing, and let's see how it turns out. Okay. Next, result.
Result. Increasing my advertising budget resulted in 100% increase in search impression share, resulting in my lead acquisition goal KPI being achieved. I have compared these results against my return on advertising spend, ROAS,
Mm-hmm.
return on investment, ROI, figures for the last 30 days compared to the previous month, and I can see improvements here as well.
Absolutely right. So what are we saying here? That we are kind of comparing results after implementing this test. Okay, so prior to this month we have that test, we have increased budget, but earlier we did not do that. So can we see the difference in this last 30 days? Our sales are increased, our customer base are increased, so hence our revenue also increased. Yes. So does this summarize the concept pretty well? So any doubts in this? We kind of revised what we discussed in detail. So are we good with DDDM? If we are, then we can just quickly say yes, yes, yes. I'll be glad.
Yeah, I'm good.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, we're good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you so
yes.
much. And as I'm only I'm a single turner today, I would like to take a pause here. And before we take a pause, I would just like to know, how did you feel learning this couple of concepts today? So I know that you all mention the feedback on the screen, on the WhatsApp group, and you are most welcome to do that as well. You can go ahead and write, one word or one sentence, whatever you always mention or you want to. But then Can you here just mention your feedback for today's session or anything that you want to know, want us to know as trainers? It can be one word, one sentence. It's your forum. Just go ahead. We can go one by one. So I don't want to take names. I'll be glad if everybody participates. It can be just your feedback. Yeah. Anyone want to start? Go ahead. How did you feel? How did you thought? How was the session or how are these regular sessions? Yeah,
I find them informative and interesting, Prerna.
that is really kind of you, Shweta. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, how about other? Yeah,
Nice and informative.
thank you, Aarti. Yes, thank you
Informative
so
and
much.
it's with the good examples.
Okay, so informative being our constant. Okay, yes, and with good example. Thank you, Dara. Next,
I have a suggestion actually. These examples,
Anushree.
yeah, a lot more of, I mean, these examples are not really software related, or I think most of us might end up working with software industry, right? So, uh, wouldn't it make more sense to have not every example, but a little more related software and technology examples were shared with
Okay, I'll
this.
give you a very interesting insight. Though we work in software, trust me, not always that your customers are from software. Okay, so you make a website for a shampoo selling organization, you make a website for an advertising organization, you make website or application for schools or medicals. So generally, this is what we like to have as multiple domain understanding. Like today, we took
I agree to
example of
that. I agree to that,
advertising.
that we should keep to other,
Yes,
but at the end of the day, it'll be creating a website, right? It'll be not be
most of
what do you
them
say?
creating a website, application. Yes, mobile.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely right.
So yeah.
So taken, point taken, but generally why we refrain from too much technicalities because as most of you guys are not from the tech background, so some of the intricate examples might not be suitable. But yes, we'll try to give more. Like the example of graphs, which I gave you was a real life example of my personal
Yeah.
experience, right? So
Yeah,
we
those
will
kind of
try
things.
to,
From your
yes,
personal experience, those kind of examples might help people
yes,
more, I think. I mean, you should. I mean, it's good that
absolutely.
you're also including what do you say, the examples like
Other
software,
domain
I mean, shampoo and
examples.
all that, but
Yes.
along with it. So
So it's
yeah.
just for, see, honestly, it's also for the memory retention and understanding the topic. Okay. This same example, if I gave you in software terminology, what will happen is as most of us are not able to visualize that. Now, when I say shampoo, does a shampoo bottle comes to your mind? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The
Yes,
thing is, you
definitely,
told
right?
something, right? A
Because
lot
we're
of
able
people
to
might not be from
visualize.
the software industry, so they should also get familiar with
Yes.
software. So that is
Yes,
also
absolutely
important,
right.
right?
But then absolutely right. I take your point, Anushree. You're right. But what I'm trying to say is, most of our examples, like I generally give a lot of food examples. I'm surprised I've not given today. Why we give those example is just to ensure that you understand the topic and you retain that topic in your memory. So when we try to give any, see, like if I give you, like for today, I gave you an example of graph. Okay, I'm not sure, or honestly, I'm not that confident how much everybody would have grasped that because not everyone is aware of how the mutual funds or Sensex graphs look like and what are their pointers or what is the domain understanding that they have. But when we say shampoo, when we say a particular food item, when we say a clothing material, or when I say Amazon, or when I say WhatsApp or Facebook, these are our typical examples, okay? And we try to, this is our own research. When we say this, people really tend to understand. But point taken, we will try to get more such examples, for your understanding. Yeah. Anything else? Thank you so much, Anushree. What about others? You can add.
Interesting. I feel once we start probably having real-time experience, I think we can stress a little more on the examples as well. And
Yes,
I think
definitely.
maybe a mock session or something like that might definitely help.
Yes, we do. We also have domain understanding sessions. We also have mock interviews. Honestly, that all depends on your curiosity, your as in everyone's participation and enthusiasm, because most of them, see, domain explanation is from trainer's side, so that is fine. But mock interviews, mock discussions are solely interest driven, because funnily and sadly we can't push that on you. I as a trainer cannot ask you to come and give the mock interview, right? So same way, we will have those sessions, and we do have those sessions, but then at definitely as per all of your interest and enthusiasm. Yes, we will have that. Thank you so much. Next person. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who has mentioned, but people who have not given their feedback, please feel free, and then we can close our session. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the session was a very comprehensive one. I love the examples
Thank
you
you.
gave. Yes, so I'm always very clear. I don't know. There's something about the way you teach. You make it very comprehensive. Even with the
Thank you
video.
so much,
Yeah,
Matilda.
yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. What about others? Yeah, who is
It's,
left?
yeah, informative
Mhm.
and interactive. Yeah.
Yes, interactive. We wanted to have it to be interactive, because then, honestly, at this hour of the day or night, we're not sure you're awake or not. So that's on the funnier side. But then, listening from you, like, see, getting feedback also helps us a lot to improve our course, the way we conduct, the way we discuss, the way we want to, add in our data or our study material. So yes, thank you so much. Go ahead. Who is left? I'm not sure who is left.
Hi Prerna, this is Shruti.
Hi,
So
Shruti.
I felt that the class was very informative. I definitely appreciate that. I do have one feedback, or rather a question from my end.
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning of the course, there was an expectation set that there would be regular assignments, and then that
Mm-hmm.
we would be receiving feedback on those. I think weekly we were supposed to do one or two, I believe. And then we did one
Mm-hmm.
assignment in the beginning, and we never received any feedback on the assignment we did, nor did we get
Mm-hmm.
any assignment in the following weeks. So I'm just
Okay.
curious about when we'll get that hands-on assignment experience, or how is the curriculum going to proceed.
Okay. Okay. Good question, Shruti. So first of all, as we say, there are said and unsaid assignments. So first of all, let me check the earlier feedback that we have not given to you. So I'll get that. I'll discuss with Gaurav, and I'll answer to that. And second is, to answer your question, we do have a section. We do have, towards the end of the session, we have a dedicated project wherein you guys, all of you as a team, work on a project. We give you a typical topic, and then all of you within the team have to take multiple roles, and try to work on that project as a team. So one person can be product owner for particular task, one person can be scrum master, one person can be a part of development team, and then it can be anything and everything. And so you actually learn to create a document, business requirement document, or if you want to add some diagrams to it, so that is definitely there. Now, coming to yours, another question is regular assignment. So, one of the classic and most helpful assignment that we have is that we on almost all these groups and all the tracks is, we encourage all of you to prepare short videos. When I say short, that means the videos can actually range from 1 to 2 minutes. They are not lengthy videos. And in that videos, what we want or what we expect is you speak or you discuss about the topic that we just had. Like today we had requirement gathering and EDDM, these two very important and very, I would say, useful topics. So in that, uh, you have to present those topics. Again, you don't need to I mean, memorize everything and you have to like mug up. No, you can have your notes in front of you, just a well lit area where lighting is proper. We could see you and, nicely dressed. Nicely dressed is as in not in the super casual. So, just a formal attire or regular, whatever you might be wearing on daily basis. And there is a reason why I'm saying this. And then you give us those videos where you are explaining the topics. Okay. Now this is the assignment, and there can be a very quick question like why this assignment. So there are multiple advantages of this assignment to you. First of all, is these videos we compile, we add, and then we put on our YouTube channels. And this such videos are seen by HR throughout the world, okay? Because as Guru Schools is going very high and very good on YouTube, our reach is quite big, as Dave sir travels and meets so many organizations and so many other HRs in the world. When I say world, that means he's very active in US, Canada, personally, physically. He's in India as of now. He's meeting so many I would say owners and CEOs, CTOs. I do not know. I mean, every day there is a meeting lined up. It's very tough to get through him nowadays because he's in all the planned and unplanned meetings. So these videos are like ready to use pool, or these are our candidates that we have. Those are ready. So this is like an honestly advertising your profile or yourself to the HRs, and as well as how it helps you directly is when you record yourself, when you record while you're speaking and while you're sharing something one on one over a camera, trust me, it is not so easy as to make any funny videos, because then you get a little conscious, you might make some mistakes, or you might get little, I would say apprehensive at first. But then we want you to break all those barriers, because if you can speak in front of camera very well, you are definitely going to do very well in your interviews. Now, this is kind of like an interview preparation process also. So this has been, I'm not sure we explain this, because generally we do explain this in initial sessions, and then we expect a feedback. But generally, over December month, as we all know, it's like a family time and little slow month. So we don't push it. But then this is a regular exercise. We don't even need to highlight this. After each sessions, we can have videos, and we do have a lot of videos from other earlier batches or other tracks wherein people speak. We are saying 1 or 2 minutes. You can make a larger video, but then it's up to you how much you want to speak, and then you keep revising and you keep improving. That is the whole purpose. Does this sound interesting and useful?
Yes,
Yes,
Prerna, thank
no,
you.
yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And this is a very, very practical and helpful hack also. Just remember this. So if you do this, trust me, you will be at a very comfortable pace to give interviews. Yeah. So who is left? Sorry, I've not kept a track. Anybody wants to add, or everybody has given their feedback? Yes. Yes, no, yes. Okay. I take the silence as yes. So again, before we close, I really want to thank every one of you, each and every one of you, to give your for your interaction, for your response, for your feedback, for being there and giving you all. So yes, please go ahead with the discussed assignment. And also, if you want to have any further doubts, any further questions, please feel free to ask, and we will connect tomorrow at the same time. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. Good night. Take care. Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you, Prerna. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Good
Bye
night.
bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good night. Bye. Good
Bye.
night. Bye
Bye.
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 Bye bye. Good night. Take care. Good night.